their men. The men beat on their drums.
Okay, today I finished the steering and the flaps and elevator steering. So this means with these two rods it goes to the crank, and because I want to use my elevator rod in the booms, so I make here another L-shape lever, and this will control the elevator, and this one here down, this is for the flaps, is coming from under. So I'm just give a little demonstration. If I move, I activate actually two levers. A bit difficult because I have only one hand free. So the elevator is there, and this rod down there is for the flaps. Just temporarily put together with tape. And actually I don't know how much flap I will give, so I think about 15 degrees up and 15 down will be okay. So just a little bit testing still, because yeah, once it's glued together you will know possibility to change stuff or adjust differently. So I hope I do it good. It seems to work nice. And here of course comes another boom, but there's no horns, nothing anymore there. Everything will be actually in the central cockpit fuselage. So I put it again slightly together. Always check and double check if everything fits right. I slowly starting closing the wing. Fuselage still can be go down, and steering is actually finished. If you see moving the rear spindle for the flaps, and here is the elevator control unit. Of course the stick or cable will go rear to the back. Engine and props from Cox International. Engine is just for show, no mounting yet, but canopy is I think we'll make a new one, but looks not so bad so far, just for the idea. But I think so far I can be happy. Of course missing the wheels. So far maybe 55 hours. So now it's time to make up my mind about the engines. In first place, because before I even got a plan, the intention was 17s for a p-38, but they are far too heavy, because one MK17 is 131 grams. Two of them, simple calculation, more than 260 grams, so it's more than a quart kilogram on engine stuff. So we will forget this idea. It's nice for another project, but not for the p-38. Then I have the idea to use two TDs with a diesel head, because they are really extreme light, 47 grams. But 0.1 cc, and I think it will be flying very well because it's very light. It will fit nicely, but I want to have some power in this plane, so I consider it as a second option. Then I got in my mind the paths, because the MK17 is 0.15 horsepower. So the PAR engines are quite powerful, 0.20 HP, and wait 1 second, start to wait again. But they are quite reliable, they are not expensive, they are not vintage, this is idle engine, but 107 grams, so two of them, 223 grams with needles and props, and not even propeller and props. So it's possible, but I think about some better idea. This is the Auto-M Stirz, and it's also 1.5cc, very cheap engine, of course a vintage, but look at this, 72 grams, same like the PA and the MK17. I have two of those, but when I was a young boy, 13 years old, I used the first one with a wooden prop. Don't tie it up very well, it gets loose and snap off the crank pin. So I'm just at the moment checking for another crankshaft. Maybe I will try to make myself one. But this is actually the best choice so far. But as I have so many engines, I found this little beauty. It's a Willo 1.5cc, and look at this, also 76 grams. This engine was not a runner, missed the spray bar, no compression at all, so I first make now so the Willo is actually a vintage engine. I prefer better not to use him, but if I have to, I will do it, because two of these beauties, 147, just a little bit more than one MK17, and maybe even more HP. Horsepowers. I put on the PAL engines an 6x4 3-blade prop. It's actually the same like a 6x7 2-blade. And his spins hit with the RPM counter, I checked 14,000 RPM, and that's actually not bad. So I must check soon what those babies do with this prop. And it's actually the same concept, same similar construction, so I think it will be not a problem to use them in the p-38, because they will also fit very nicely, like you see. And I will of course use the engine with the more power outside and what is less power inside. For the Willo I make also a new piston, but I make him lighter than the original piston, so he should run very well. But I also think about this. Somebody coming. Don't move. Come. Okay, come. I also think about this, what the Amco do. The Amco 3.5 use a prop extender like this. So this means you can put the engine more behind and distribute the weight to the perfect central gravity point. And it's actually easy stuff. I will make from alloy an extender about 2 centimeters, and I will save weight again, because if I use the bars, the plane drops dramatically because of the weight to the front. And with those two engines, it's actually with a little bit extra weight back about here, it's okay. It stays, because central point of gravity is something about here, so this will be okay. But if I move the engines about 1.5 to 2 centimeters, not here but here, this will be perfect, of course, because now if I take the plane, it's actually almost in balance. And about the position of the engine, because in the actual plan there was the idea to put them down, cylinder down, Of course it's the most beautiful thing, because you don't see the engine. Wait 1 second. So, you don't see the engine on the cylinder stick out a little bit. But because I make these openings for the grill, I will have some extra cooling air. And the problem is also I can take the engine out for repair if something happened. If I put the engine in like this and make only a small hole and glue everything together, this means I can never access the engine again. So put them down and maybe make here down an opening so I can unscrew the engine if it's necessary. I think this would be a nice idea. I only worry about the starting because, yeah, if the engine hangs down, it's sucking less fuel like in this position. But I think it's a simple problem solution for this. Just start the plane upside down, because I will use fuel tanks that I can fly also on above my head. So it doesn't matter if I put the plane like this or like this. I can start both ways. So far so good. So the next thing is I will test this engines with the troubel prop and make my choice about this. So of course a nice rare vintage Willo, German Willo from 1955. But if I must use it, I will use them, because I need an engine and the spring is knocking on the door and I want to really fly this thing in the spring. So that's the update so far about the engines. More stuff come soon. And it's of course also about the power to weight ratio. So if the power engine have 0.20 horsepower with 1/2 cc and 120 gram, and this Russian Auto M1.5 have only 0.18 of 17 horsepower, but with 70 gram, so this is far the better engine. And I think it will be a nice choice. I don't run this engine for a long time, so I'm really curious to compare to the paths how hard he will spin the spinner.